and welcome to the space that gives you inspiration on work, on life, and how to balance both worlds. Hope you have your cup of coffee, tea, a glass of juice, water, or anything that tickles your fancy, and a pen and a notebook, because things are gonna get serious. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that notification bell so you know every time one of my videos goes up. Guys, September, we're coming, this is the last week of of August, meaning we're starting the last third of this year. Like, this year started like yesterday. What do you mean we are coming to the last third of this year, right? But I feel like over the last few years, how the year is progressing for me has brought me certain amounts of joy and amounts of peace, because I started to take control of my life. And there's people who naturally are like that, like the melancholics will always plan their lives out. But for me as a sanguine, that didn't come naturally. And so now that I'm able to do it, I'm not by default system, and I'll say this over and over again, I'm not an organized person. It's just something that came. It's something that happened after a depression. I realized that I needed to take a hold of my life. I needed to be in control of my life. I couldn't live that like the sanguine that I was, letting life happen to me. I needed to take control. And when I started to take control, I've had my ups and downs of taking control, and I've shared my entire journey with you. And I feel that I'm now coming to a place where it's becoming more, for lack of a better word, more routine, more like I know what's going to happen. That makes me feel better. Like every time I see a result, I feel like a farmer right now. Like a farmer gets seeds, puts them in the ground, waters them, and then after a while waits for a sprouting to happen and sees a harvest. I feel that before, when I lived the life of a sanguine, every time I would see a harvest, I would be like, yeah, and I didn't know where it came from. Yeah, I'm just excited. Yeah, we're eating maize. Yay! Not remembering that I actually did plant and I watered and I weeded and now I'm harvesting. But I feel like now where I'm at, I'm more intentional about when should I plant, what seeds should I plant, when should I water, how frequently should I weed, when should I prune, what time should I harvest, if I plant now, when will I harvest? So I feel like while we had the same result, one was more mistaken by mistake than another, but for this one, because it's more planned, my results are more I know that these are the results I'm going to get. If I've planted 1 acre of bananas, I'm going to harvest 1 acre of bananas. You know what I mean? Unlike that time when I just planted wherever and then I got 1/4 acre and I was excited. You know what I mean? So anyway, I really did go down a rabbit hole. But for this 5th week of August and the last week that we're talking about prioritization in this work-life balance equation, I would like to talk about something called the Alpen method. I got this Alpen method when I was searching through, like I shared before. I went through all these models myself. I was searching through social media, YouTube, and I came across Emily Lindstrom, and she was talking about it. And she explains it so well, but I feel that if you want to just continue here, you can continue watching here. If not, I can leave you a link to that video down below, because I'm going to say exactly the same thing, because why would I reinvent the wheel? Why though? So the Alpen method, again, is an acronym, ALPEN. And the A stands for activities of the day. So the thing about the Alpen method, she shares that it's best done when you're planning your daily activities, okay? So get all the activities that you need to do during the day. So where for me it fitted in my equation of prioritization is, remember, I've come from the Pareto method and picked out my 20% tasks, And after picking out my 20%, I know that all of them are important, but then I have subjected those 20% tasks to my Moscow method, right? And after doing that, now it means that there are certain tasks that I will now prioritize for different days in the week or in the year or in the month. Now, when I'm looking at each day, there are certain activities which will come, right? Because like I said the other day when I said I have to write a speech, the last week's video, if I have to write a speech, just saying that I have to say a speech at an event as an activity seems like just an activity, but the truth is research has to happen. It has to be written. I have to buy an outfit. I have to get my my makeup done. I have to test. I have to practice doing that speech with either my husband or somebody who can tell me what exactly they've had, so that we are sure that what I was communicating was exactly what they got. So there's all these tasks that are embedded inside the one task of saying a speech. So when it comes to this Alpen method, it's nice for when you're breaking down the minor tasks from the big tasks. So what happens is that you write out all the activities that you're going to do that day. And those could be, like now I could decide that I'm going to research, right, for my speech. And I'm going to research by Googling. I'm going to research by going on YouTube. I'm going to research by going on to Google Scholar. I'm going to research and write those notes, whatever I come up with, and have an analysis, or like a resultant view of what I have read and researched. Those are two different tasks. So I will write those two tasks down to be done today. But then maybe I still have maybe at the cradle to write a proposal. And I've shared before here that I usually break down my proposals and do each segment on its own. I don't try and do the entire proposal on its own. And so I'll say maybe I want to do the executive summary. So that's also a task that I need to get done. But also there's more things that I usually do when I'm, for example, at the cradle. I'm going to check all our dashboards. I'm going to check all of my emails. So there's so many tasks, right? So you put down all of those activities that you're going to do for that day. And then the L is length of time. I liked the Alpen method because of that. Because I feel that people don't realize that to say something is realistic, you need to be looking at the length of time. So when you look at the length of time it's going to take you to check your emails, to check your dashboards, to write the executive summary, to research, okay? You have to know the length of time that it's going to take you so that you can feed it in. I mean, we have 8 work hours. So you need to be able to feed in the work that you need to get done from those activities into those 8 hours. Now, sometimes you realize, what I said I was going to do is going to take more than 8 hours. It's going to take 3 hours just because you have thought about the aspect of the length of time. Now, this takes getting a lot of used to be honest. At first it was really hard for me, but the truth is after a while I started to get the hang of it, right? So it will take some getting used to. But then the thing that I liked about it is that after a while you start to realize your patterns. So like for example, I realized that if I'm checking on our dashboards, it will take me probably 30 minutes. And checking emails will also take me another 30 minutes. So I actually have a work block at 11 o'clock every day where I will check my emails, look at our dashboards and make calls. So I have all those 3 happening in that block because of block scheduling, those of you who know what I'm talking about. So I'm now able to, now take out those 3 things and do them at 11. And so I even have an alarm on my phone that says dashboards, emails, and calls at 11 a.m. every day. So when you call me and say, hi Manuela, I would like to talk to you, usually I would say, can we talk tomorrow at 11? Because I know that's my block time for phone calls, you know. I know that's my block time to read and answer emails. But sometimes some emails will take longer, some will not, but at least I know on average that's how long it's going to take. I know that research for me it doesn't take a day. So I can't put research and analyzing on the same day for maybe a topic that I have to do. I have to do my research on a whole separate day, and it will probably take me about 3 days on average to do research on a topic. So if that's the case, every time I'm looking at my activities for that day, I can't put other things on that day of that I'm going to do research, because I know it's going to take me about 3 days. So I can't keep adding other things, or I can't make it just one day of research. You know what I mean? And so that means that when you call me today to tell me you want me to come to an event to speak tomorrow but 1, I'm just like, I can't, because I know it's going to take me 3 days to just do the research to come and speak at that event. So you get what I mean? So length of time is very important. So activities, A. L is length of time. P is planned buffer time. I absolutely love this about the Alpen method. Many of you have asked me sometimes, like, what happens if an emergency happens? What happens if you need to do something? You guys have asked me that stuff. Your life can't be that well planned. But the Alpen method answers that. That you plan buffer time. According to what Emily said, 60% of your time should be for planned activities. So if you have 8 hours in a day, 60% of your time is 5 hours. So of the 8 hours, 5 of those hours are for planned activities. And then that 3 hours, that is the 40%, is for your unplanned activities. So things like, taking extra time while you're having coffee at, just at the workplace, you're mixing your coffee. Maybe you decide to do a little bit of gossip with your counterpart, or you decide to go out for lunch with your counterpart and you take longer than usual, or an email that took longer before, now you're able to do it now, So the advantage of buffer time is that it will help you do the activities. Those 3 hours, the 40%, allows you to do the activities that you had planned for a certain period of time, but unfortunately took longer. So say, for example, at 11 o'clock, when I get into the system, I'm trying to answer emails. I realize there's 2 emails that are going to take a bit of time. I can plan to answer them at the end of the day when I have my buffer time. Maybe you had planned to do the executive summary and I've just ended like halfway, like I've not finished it because the time I'd estimated for it, I misfired. So the buffer time is to help me catch up on that. The other reason you want or you need buffer time is for unexpected activities, like there was an emergency. Let me call them emergency activities. There's an emergency, something has happened. Like that used to happen a lot at the bank because I used to work in marketing. So say, for example, there's a customer who writes something on social media and they are complaining about the bank and what the bank has done. And then we have to put out a statement. Now, that's unexpected. It's an emergency. I had no idea. Or maybe you get a call from home that your child is unwell and you kind of have to, supervise what's going to happen with your child. That's unexpected activities and they go into your buffer time, your 3 hours. Or you could do spontaneous activities, like you decide, I want to go out with my with my countermate. I want to go out with my boss. I want to go get her a present. I want, something like that. You can do in at that time of your buffer time, the extra 3 hours. So you always plan buffer time. That's what I loved about the Alpen method, the length of time and the buffer time. And then E is establish priorities. Now, we've already talked about priorities earlier, right? So go through either the Eisenhower matrix or the Moscow matrix or the ABCDE matrix and come up with your priorities, okay? Now, those priorities are important for now what you're going to do the next day or on that day. And then lastly, notes for success. After you've done the work, at the end of the week, ask yourself, how did I do? What worked and why did it work? What didn't work and why didn't it work? I think many times we're very good at learning and listening and hearing what people say that we should do, inspirational speakers, motivational speakers, and then we do, and then we conclude it didn't work. But why didn't it work? Yeah. So like me, I've shared that I did all of these things, okay, and I realized that certain things worked and certain things don't, and I know why and why not. And I'll tell you why some things will work and some will not. Like I'll tell you why as opposed to using the Eisenhower matrix, I'd rather use the Moscow matrix. and why it then works for me over the ABCDE matrix, but I'm picking something from the ABCDE matrix and putting it in my Moscow matrix. So you get that there's a need for us to be able to sit down and think through, right? I think one of the things that I've always said that is most important in your journey of work-life balance is being able to sit down in silence and ask yourself and talk to yourself and have a discussion with self, okay? Now, let me know in the comment section which one of all the methods in this series that we've talked about you feel would most work for you, or the one that you're going to start with. But like I advised, please, 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 start with rack. And after you're done with rack, then we can get into, because prioritizing is the first stage of change. So first start with that one. And I hope that this series has helped you answer that question that you keep asking me, how I'm able to do it. I'm still on my journey, but I wanted to share with you where I'm at. I hope that this has helped. If it has helped, let me know in the comment section. Share this video. Let other people know. I believe that when you're better, I'm better. Because I want to come to a place where we're both working productively. Yeah. Now remember, if you want to have a system for your home, the home organization tool is available to you right now. I'll leave a link in the description box. We have the home organization, we have the meal planner, the annual meal planner, we have the annual shopping list, we have the breakfast edition, we have the recipes edition, we have the kids chores edition. All of that is available to you in the link in the description box. Also, I shall soon be giving you details on the annual personal planning getaway. So get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, and see you next week. Until next time. Mwah!